it's easier just to be able to either acquire that in terms of credit, or at least acquire that in terms of you know, payouts from another source, or at least it's just faster, it's quicker, you know. Yeah, I was just listening to a talk about how to use you know, cash value life insurance and take out policy loans. And this is something that I'm kind of familiar with. I've
Mhm.
actually never done it though. I've never taken out loans against my own policies, but I'm familiar with the concept.
Yeah.
So I would never like publicly talk about it or advise someone on it because I've actually never done it. Although I know people who have, I know I have partners who have, and I'm very familiar with the process. So when the time comes, then
Mhm.
I'll definitely be available to do that.
So that isn't that like the be your own bank situation?
Yeah, and that's a broad statement because you can be your own bank with a credit card. You don't even need like hundreds of thousands of dollars in policies and all that confusing stuff if you
Yeah.
don't know that. Like you can do that with you could do it with a checking account. You really could. Or you could do it with a credit card, which is probably much more you know, accessible, or something that's much more you can easily you know, implement it.
Mhm. Yeah. That was my plan when I get my insurance policy. To borrow against it while it's still growing, with you know, collecting interest and stuff like that on there, and then using it on an, you know, either I create the new asset or I put the money into some existing asset, and then that starts making money. Like, bro, you got to get that book, man. I would suggest the audio book of Richest Man in Babylon, only because you can listen to it over and over and over again. I probably listened to that shit at least 25 times already.
Oh wow.
The stories are that good, and the principles are fantastic. I'm using the principles as we speak, and I have seen a difference in it, and I even wrote the principles on my board so I wouldn't forget it.
All
But yeah,
right, I got it. I'm writing it down right now. I always
yeah,
bring
bro.
my paper and pens to the sales meeting, so I'm writing it down, taking notes. I'm gonna walk away with stuff. So yeah.
Indeed, brother. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in on YouTube. You guys know what it is. Put questions in the chat. I don't even see the chat popping up on the side, but it's all right. We here. So, Tech, yeah, I wanted to get you on here because you're probably one of the few people that agree with me on the way we do pricing. Um, of course, like the students understand too. Our students, um, that's on Notary Automation and the Notary Cash Flow Academy, they get it. But a lot of listen, you guys, you want to get some heat, you want people coming at you, start talking about notary pricing, and you're going to get all kind of people jumping in your DM saying how your pricing is ridiculous, saying how nobody's going to pay for that, telling you how they only spend $20 for a notarization. I'm constantly right now deleting messages out of my inbox because I don't know. Well, I'll say this: I don't know if they're notaries or these are actual customers, like people that actually use notary services. So that's the thing, Tech. I don't know if these people are like, um, I wouldn't spend that much on a notary because I had a couple of them saying that, but I don't know if they're notaries. But if they're a customer, of course, I understand why you wouldn't spend that because you are the consumer. You're looking at it from a completely different angle than where we're coming from. And the notaries that have a problem with the way we do premium pricing don't hate, congratulate. You know what I mean? Be happy and understand that you now have a higher profit margin. You now have a higher profit margin that you can start charging higher prices. What say you, Tech?
People don't. I would say that those people are notaries. I wouldn't. It would be my inclination to say that those are not people who make those comments. They're not notaries. Like they're not. They're just regular people. That would be my inclination. I would
Mhm.
say that no. I would say that if somebody is making a comment or they are criticizing the way that you are building up your business model, your pricing model, that only comes from a notary. I can't see somebody else who's a non-commissioned notary making a comment like that. I'm not saying that it ain't possible, because there are people who think that they went to law school.
Mhm.
There are notaries and regular folk who think that they passed the bar exam. They know the state laws, they know the statutes and the articles and the sections. They know everything, but they never sat in a class. They never took a course. They never passed a test. They never got fingerprinted. They never got background checked. They never went through any type of formal coursework or training, but they know everything about the law. Me and my wife were just talking about that. We were watching People's Court. I like to watch People's Court sometimes because I
Mhm.
love her questioning things. I love Judge Milian. I love when she does her cross examination. It helps me with my questioning when I'm working with clients. And even my wife, she was just saying, like the plaintiff was giving some example about, some case that they were something that they were involved in. I think it had to do with like cars being towed. You know how people be suing each other. And then she decided not to pay the ticket because, well, somebody hit my car. Why should I pay them? Not like somebody's her friend or their friend probably told them that, or their coworkers or a cousin or something gave them some legal advice. Because everybody thinks that they know the law. Everybody thinks that they went to law school. Everybody thinks that they're an expert at something when they are really not experts. So for me, if you think that there's an issue with a pricing model, then it's probably coming from, oh, because I know or I read that it's only $1 according to the whatever. It's only $5. So mind you, I never took a class. I never passed a test or anything, but I just know because the last time I did this 10 years ago, or the last time I got a notary 5 years ago, then it was only that price. So why is it now whatever price that it is that you're presenting me with? And the question I want to ask you is, do you, that person, because I think we're all in sales.
Mhm. Oh
We're
yeah.
all in sales.
I don't care if you're in business or not in business, where you're selling something, yourself, something.
Do notaries know that? Does a person who traditionally fits into the mold of a notary, somebody who maybe they don't even have a website? I mean, I work with a ton of notaries, as you know, and they always ask me, so how are you able to give me so many assignments? I was just talking to a notary just now. She was like, how?
Mhm.
She was like, hey, I really appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to call you and say I really appreciate all the work that you've been giving me lately. You know, we only met once, by the way. And I've been working with her for months, but we've only met in person once. And she was just like, I'm so appreciative of you, because my car just got, I just got a broken window in my car. I had to replace that. So I really appreciate the extra work you've been giving me. I just want to call and say happy Thanksgiving. And but we've previously talked about, how are you getting all these appointments and how are you able to do that? And do notaries who do notaries know the person who's a traditional notary? No website, she doesn't have a website. No business phone, she doesn't have a business phone. She has a reliable vehicle. She has a commission, but completely oblivious to the fact that she's in a sales role.
Mhm.
Are most notaries do I think most notaries identify with that?
I
What do you
agree
think?
with you. I agree. I agree 100% with you on that.
No
For sure.
website, no business phone, no type of sense of pricing. And then they just do what they're told, which is, what is a carryover from their days of being on the plantation.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And it's a problem. It's a problem for them. Um, this morning, a hater jumped on my feed and told me, what makes what makes me different from every other notary charging, how can I charge those premium prices? And, you know, it's not hard to become a notary and all of this stuff. And I'm like, you're right. All stamps are created equal, but these skills ain't. These skills are not created equal. It's a fine art for this skill. You have to craft it, you have to mold it, you have to sharpen it. You are there are times that you get in what's crazy is that there are notaries that get in negotiating situations and don't even know that they're in a negotiating situation. They don't realize that the customer went into negotiating mode and they're still in hospitality mode. Would you like me to bring you some water? Would you like more bread on this table? You're in that mode. This person is in, I'm going to get them to come down on this price.
All day.
And that is a deadly situation to be in. That is not a good situation for you to be in, because what they're doing, they're taking that chisel and they're taking that hammer and they're chiseling away your profits. And they'll feel no way about it. They don't care if you have bills due. They don't care if you want to put your kid in private school. They don't care. As far as they're concerned, they got to look out for a numero uno. So yeah, when you get a phone call, don't get it twisted. You're on a sales call. I don't know what kind of call you thought you was getting. Tech, they thought they were getting friendly calls and shit.
Yeah. You can
Telemarketers and scam likely don't even give you calls like that. The only person giving you a call like that is your mama.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the first to say that, man. This is not this is this is a sales call that you're on, if you know it or not. You are on a sales call. I never thought of it that way. But it is.
100%,
And
bro.
it's dangerous if you don't know. It's dangerous.
Bro, that it will bankrupt your business. In the health club, we would say anytime, bro, this is where I really understood the power of a call script. I was a receptionist before I got into sales. So I was answering all the phone calls. One question that we always had to ask, we would say, thank you for calling Badly Total Fitness. This is Tiger. Are you a current member? Bro, when you listen to that sentence, it doesn't even sound right. It's not even a part of a conversation. I'm thanking you, and then I pose a question of, are you a current member? There's a reason why. If you're a current member, okay, you want a copy of the aerobic schedule? Yeah, we'll send that to you, no problem. You want to know when's the spinning class and all that? Okay, no problem. But once you say you are not a current member, I don't care if you're asking about the spinning class or aerobics class. You are automatically deemed a sales call, a telephone inquiry. And what we would do, we have these big microphones that would announce throughout the whole club. And in order for the the members of the gym not to know what we were saying. And if you ever go by a car dealership, you'll probably hear this too. We'll say TI line 1, TI line 1. Salespeople scurry down the steps, trying to get to the phone first, because they understand that is a sales call. No notary client is calling you for an aerobics schedule. None of them. None of them are calling you to see if you have an embossed stamp, because they think whoever has an embossed stamp is cool. They want to buy something. They need servicing on something. You must go into 100% director, producer, sales mode.
Showtime.
It's showtime, baby. Oh, it's showtime. And that's when you break out the lights. You got the choreography. You got the stage in the background, like Home Shopping Network, QVC. You got Tom Cruise in the front, Denzel Washington. You know what I mean? Like, everything is just staged for a blockbuster movie. For the person that wants to know what skill I possess, this is one of them. To teach the students. I understand the mission, Tech. I understand my mission. My mission right now is to teach people the things that I do extremely well with no effort.
Yeah.
And that's sales and marketing right now. I don't care if you bring a bottle of water. I can get more money selling this bottle of water than the company that produces it, because I possess a certain type of skill. Tech possesses a certain type of skill where he could get $1,000 for a notarization. Now take that to the bank. Yeah. You want to hate on that? When's the last time you got $1,000 for a notarization with one client? And it's not an apostille. I'll wait. Probably didn't even hear about a number like that before. Our students are getting those numbers on a consistent basis.
If you had somebody who said, because this is a sales training too, right? People understand. You're watching this. You're watching the sales training. This is our sales meeting. What would you say to the person who says, you know what? I don't have Tiger's personality. I can't do what Tiger does. I don't have what you have. I'm just not like you. I'm different. I come from a different background. Because, what do you say to that person? Because you and I, we have a lot of similarities, but we come from different worlds, different backgrounds. But we have, what do you say to the person who says, because I've had people say this, I come from a medical background. I come from, I studied, sociology, and, I was an athlete, or, I was a criminal, who knows? And they say, I can't do what you do. I can't talk to people like you do. I don't have the personality you do. How do I actually, because communication to me is so big, and you're not taught communication, but you can learn this stuff though, right? So what do you say to that person?
Yeah, so personality has nothing to do with the strategies and tactics you use. Personality is the cream of the crop bonus that you get to put on top of the strategies and principles that you use. Now you can put your own personality once you master the formula.
The basics.
The formula is what gets you from point A to point B. Once you master that formula, then you can have the personality of a librarian. It don't matter. You close it. Bro, do you know my daughter was answering, I taught my daughter the sales script at What was she? She was probably like 12 years old. Yeah, she was 12 years old. My daughter was answering the phone, closing deals
Wow.
at 12 years old. And I would pay her a percentage of every phone call that she would close. She's 12. So can anybody learn this? 100%. If you have 2 ears and a mouth, you can learn this.
Yeah.
Is it rocket science? No. But you better learn it from somebody that has, as the rich man of Babylon said, you wouldn't ask. He said, there's a passage in the book that says, one of the guys said, hey, I gave so-and-so some money to get some jewelry for me. And so the guy asked him, the rich guy, the richest man in Babylon said, so what's this guy's profession? He's a sheep herder. He said, so you're going to go to a sheep herder to get jewelry? He said, you know, you lost that money, right? That money will never come back in your possession again. You learn from people that have skin in the game. We said it for years.
Yes.
Stop learning from people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is an industry full of adults. Use your discernment. You should be able to look at this person or hear this person and be like, this person don't look like he knows what the hell he's talking about. If that red flag comes up, bounce. Don't get millionaire advice from non-millionaires. I mean, like, that's just, it would just make sense. Don't get plumbing advice from an electrician.
They'll give it to you though.
And you'll fuck your whole house up. Burn your shit down. They're gonna tell you put the wire in the toilet.
It's smoking. Is that steam coming out of it?
Oh no, it's fine. It always does that. Gulf and flames.
Yeah. Oh, what happened?
What do you say? What do you say to that question, Tech? If somebody said that to you,
yeah, the easiest thing to do to me is to always find somebody, a mentor. Find somebody who's on the way to where you're going, or they're already there, and just follow them. Follow what they do. That's gonna be quick. It's gonna be fast. Less roadblocks, less minefields, less potholes, because you know that stuff eventually happens. But you want to follow somebody who's going to actually, you know, show you. In this case, you don't. Let's say because we talk on the phone, people don't really see us, right?
mm-hmm.
I think getting the words down. I think you can learn it absolutely because I'm going to use myself for example. I'm from a medical background. I had a 15-year history in the medical field, and I learned at the probably about the 6-year mark. Oh man, I know where my weaknesses are, and I went and I got some training, and I learned from somebody who was a great examiner. So this person was they would, you know, when you go to the doctor, the first person who sees you, what they do is they'll ask you a couple of questions, take some notes, and then they'll go present to the doctor. And what that did, I learned from somebody who was, I'm telling you, in the entire, and it's funny too, because this guy was the nephew of Jerry Springer too, by the way.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow,
completely random, right? But this guy, he has so much personality. He was sharp, he was smart, and he was quick too. Quick, fast. He knew based upon what question, and this is kind of how I model my business. If I give you guys a little bit of insight here, this is how I model my notary business. They fill out tell me if this sounds familiar. They fill out an intake form.
Mm-hmm.
I read it, and then I go inside their house, which is kind of like an exam room, and then I already know what the problem is.
Yeah.
For one thing, they only need one thing. It's a notary. Surprise, I already know what your diagnosis is.
Yeah.
So now it's just up to me to how do I want to deliver it? How do I want to, what kind of medication, what combination of medications do I want to give you now? So what I learned from this guy was you can find out exactly, you should find out exactly what's going on in 2 questions. Try to do it in less than 2 questions maximum. And I was like, really? 2 questions? Like, yeah, you should know what's going on. 2 questions. And then all at that point, it's up to you to kind of deliver what you think is the proper solution for them. So to me, I learned how to examine body parts quickly. Number one, you don't have a lot of time. And neither does your client. They don't have a lot of time either. Now, you might end up spending more time with them just because, you guys are vibing like that and you guys are having a good rapport. But the reality is people don't want you to, they want responses, they want answers. And the longer it takes for you to give it to them, then the less likely they'll buy from you.
Yeah. And I hope people will catch you going from the way we're explaining this. It's like some people tune in and they're looking for these quick fixes, right? And they're looking for, hey, just tell me what to ask or what to say. It's more than that. It's more than that. It's not like we just jump into the frying pan, and then just start demanding these high prices. There's a system that goes with that. We take a consultative approach. It's a professional greeting. We're gathering intelligence. We're doing recaps. We're setting up seamless bookings for people. Like there's a system to this, man. And don't beat yourself up if you're a notary and you're like, man, I've been doing this for like the last 10, 15 years and I've never gotten this price before. It's okay. You just haven't been exposed to it.
That's it.
Heck, I wasn't here 10, 15 years ago. If I was, you would know about it by now.
That's it.
So
that's it.
What you can do is look, I've looked at this industry, bro. I've slapped it, flipped it, rubbed it down. I see the notary industry in a nutshell. Get the leads, close the deals.
That's it.
Get the leads, close the deals. Get the leads, close the deals. Stamping the paperwork is like the easiest shit ever. It doesn't take no brain muscle to do that. My 5-year-old could take my notary stamp and stamp a piece of paper. Let's just keep it a buck. But can my 5-year-old answer a sales call? Hell no. There's structure there. So look at the simplicity part and then start looking at the difficult part of the business. If something is difficult, you might want to look into that a little bit more deeply. So if my 5-year-old can take my notary stamp and stamp till it runs out of ink, or I point here and be like, he stamps there perfectly. That means that it's very simple for him to do it, for anybody to do that part. But the part that isn't simple is understanding the sales model, the negotiating side of things. What happens when a customer disputes the high price that you're offering? What do you do then? What do you say then?
That's what I like right there. See, that's where we create separation right there.
Yeah.
That's where we're talking now.
Right?
That's what everyone's afraid of. Well, what do I say? I had a notary the other day ask me that. Well, what do I say if the person says, what do I say if that person says, what there are all these hypothetical situations. Well, what do I say to them if that customer says $15 is too much? What do I say to the person if the customer says $100 is too much? Here's where we start. Here's where the business model steps in. This is where the structures come. The stamping the paper, putting your signature, finding the notarial certificates, putting the staple on, like that's no problem. But how do you now start to separate yourself from the person who says, yeah, we'll come to the correctional facility and we'll identify the inmate and we'll fill out the power of attorney and we'll only charge you $20? Versus you call me and it says, well, I'll do it for $359. We're separate. We're not the same. And then the customer says, well, how come this one's $359 or this one's $20? But the notary is already in their mind as the practitioner, they're in their mind saying, what do I say to that?
Yeah.
You're worried. So
but here's the crazy thing too, not to cut you off, Tech. They won't even get to that point. They won't even put themselves in a situation where they can act, risk getting that response from the customer. So what they do is they offer such a low price that they feel that the customer would naturally go with that price because it's so low, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But they won't price it higher where the customer will give them kickback for that. It's like, whoa, like they don't want that. They don't want that smoke.
Yeah. They avoid it. They don't even get to that point. You're right. And that's funny too, because when they were asking me that question, we role played, right? Because that's the best way I think is to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. They didn't getting to that point is I had to ask, I had to bring it up and ask.
Yeah,
this person's gonna charge me 20.
Yeah. I was saying there was a time, like I know I was a loan signing company's worst nightmare. Because I didn't like doing loan signings, so I would give the title and escrow company hell when they call me.
They hated you.
Oh yeah, because I completely rearrange the office when I come in there, right? So when they call me for a notarization, and there's a norm in the loan signing world where you have to wait 30, 45 days to get paid and all of this other stuff. I was breaking every rule possible because I didn't like doing it anyway. So if I'm going to do that assignment or commission somebody to do that assignment, I'm going to do it on my terms. And sometimes you guys don't experiment to see what you can actually do.
Yeah.
You just accept their rules.
Yeah.
As if you don't have guidelines and principles in your own business.
Yeah. You're playing on their turf. It's like they're the home team and you're the visitor, and the home team always has the advantage. Always. I don't care. So how do you flip that? How do you now become the home team? How do you now set the rules? And now they're playing on your turf. How do you now bring up the objections? Because loan company calls you, title company calls you and says, well, we're not paying, before the appointment gets completed. You're not paying before the appointment gets completed. I guess you don't have an appointment then. I guess you might have to find someone else to get this completed.
That's exactly right, bro. That's exactly what I would tell him. Maybe like, well, we pay 30 or 45 days. I was like, not over here, you don't. We're
No.
not, we do not accept assignments like that.
The only way to confirm this appointment is to submit payment in advance, and then we will contact you if there's any
Mhm.
updates. Call us, let us know. You'll communicate with the client and get them situated, find out if they're ready. So give us an update. But the only way that because when you're a title officer and you're talking to a client, or you're a lender and you're talking to this client, you need to speak with certainty. You need to speak with certainty. That means that if they have $500,000 that they're trying to, buy a new home, and it's their first property and they haven't had any experience with this, you're a realtor and you got clients and they're trying to purchase somebody's house. They've been doing this for months and months and months, and then they're finally get to the finish line, and then they're exhausted and they're worried about, credit's not going through and payments getting lost. They've been saving for this long, and then they finally get to the damn finish line, and then all of a sudden you want to back out because you don't want to pay $125 or 215 or 289, which is what I charge. I'm being transparent. 289 straight up. If it's real estate loan doc related, straight up. And then, so that you can deliver absolute certainty to your client, let them know. Let the notary know. Notary's gonna be there at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. If you're not if you want question marks surrounding the finish line, then feel free not to pay. That's fine. We don't have to do it. You can opt for the cheaper alternative. You can go get somebody to do it for $100, I guess. But that's the separation. Now that comes with, and this is what I know because I work with so many notaries. There's so many notaries I work with in my area. First of all, I know that they're not always available.
Mm-hmm.
You and I know that you call them, you know that they're not always available. That's probably the number one thing that they eliminate themselves from working with these title companies and such and whatnot. And then because they have all these events that happen, and everybody's got this stuff happens in your life. Printer breaks, car breaks down, ran out of gas, you're running late, you got a job, they have so few options, so many limitations in how they're going to get a notary to go out to their client to get this deal done, to get this loan doc done, that they have no choice but to concede and pay in advance to do exactly what they're trying to do. The only thing stopping you right now is the fact that you do whether or not you have to pay for it now or do you have to pay for it later. That's the only thing that's stopping you. How does your client feel about that? How does the family that getting ready to sign over, their loan application, how do they feel about that? I'm willing to bet that if they heard our conversation and they said that you're going to stop this whole deal just because of $275,
Right.
I think they wouldn't be very happy. I remember a very distinct conversation. I remember I was pulling up on my street. I was at the stop sign and my phone rings. I'm pulling up into my driveway. And I remember this because it was dark outside. It was like 7 o'clock. And the title company called me and said that kid, hey, we found your name online. We got a somewhat of an urgent situation here. And we would need a notary to go out to see one of our clients. And I say, great, sounds like we can help you, right? That's what I always say. And they said that the client, we had a notary. This is where you come in getting the intel, right? They say we had a notary arranged for this evening, but a client 7:30, they didn't show up. Can we send you the docs, and then can we have you go out and fulfill this assignment? And the clients, they will be up until 9:30 a.m. That's the latest that they can do. 9:30 p.m. Sorry, that's the latest they can do. I'm pulling up into my house. It's already dark outside,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell them, yes. The answer is always yes. feel free to forward the docs to this address. We'll go out, we'll print, we'll sort, we'll go and execute your notarization. No problem. And we can leave it with the doc, we can leave it with the client, or we could ship them back. They're like, oh, that is fantastic. So happy, so thankful. Thank you so much. Let us know what is the email address. And I say, yep, email address is there. You will receive an invoice. Once the invoice is processed, we'll be right on our way. And they were paused. They were like, well, wait, we normally send the payment out once the docs are returned. And they were very, stern with it. I'm like, okay, no problem. You called me.
Yes.
I can just hang up. I was getting ready to go hang out with my wife. I was ready to go home. But if you want us to help you, we can do this. But understand, you already have had one failure, maybe even more. But I know that at least one that I know of. Those clients are not happy. They're not very happy that they had something scheduled for 7:30. Notary didn't show up. They're sitting there stuck. Loan's supposed to close. Nothing. So here I am. You got me on the phone right now to do this. They hung up the phone. I pulled into my house, kicked up my feet, and then sure enough, they called back. Can we still schedule that appointment tonight for 9:30? I'm like, yes. And then they try to get an attitude. Are you sure you're going to be able to make it? We cannot have another notary no-show. Once the payment, and I repeat it, once the payment is processed, this is our policy. Once the payment is processed, then you get a confirmation and we'll send the person right out. Anything changes, call us. Guess what? They found a credit card. Cha-ching, magically. Somebody in the office had a debit card. Somebody. Yeah, of course you did, because I know, and that's the situation with everybody. It's always urgent. It's always last minute, even when it's not. So getting the basics down and like you said, your personality is really what gives it that extra sauce. But once you have the basics, once you have some of those foundational elements in there, it don't matter if you're a librarian, don't matter if you're a bus driver, you can do it.
Yep. The reason why they say it's not the normal thing that they do, it's not the norm, it's because notaries actually allowed that. They allowed them to pay 30, 45 days, 60 days out.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it's like, if Walmart and Target don't pay out that far out, why would you accept that from another company?
And I already know what people are going to say.
Anybody take offense to that, man? Take offense to that shit, for real.
Tiger, you don't know what you're talking about. The loan has to close. The house has to be I don't
have to know. That's the thing. I don't have to know. I don't. The way they run their business, that's on them. The way I run the business, that's my responsibility. I can't control what they do on their side of that table. But over here, if you're going to be doing business with my organization, you're going to have to pay up front. Let me see if I have it here. Probably don't even have it, man. I have a handful of checks that I had to wait for. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. I could fan a bunch of title company checks. I didn't like it. I had to wait. 1 week goes by. Wait some more. 3 weeks go by. 4 weeks go by. Still checking in the mail. 5 weeks go by. All right, I'm going to have to call him now. Now, I took off my CEO hat to put a collection agency hat on. Account receivables. that's not a role I want to play. That is not an additional hat I want to play while I'm growing and scaling a business. Oh, you guys forgot that you're doing that as well.
Yeah.
Add that to the cost that you're getting paid. When you got to hunt these cats down. Oh, John got transferred to another department.
What?
That's something you're gonna have to deal with. Now you have to go and explain yourself, give them dates, send them new invoices. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. That is work.
Yes.
That is straight up busy work. Hold on, let me pull it up. All right, I'm sending it to you now. Did you get it?
No.
And then once they get it, they'd be like, okay, I'm going to have to send this over to my manager. Bro, I've heard it.
Yes.
That's why I give them hell. There will be no pay after 30 days. After I come out my own pocket, I don't even know you.
Mm-hmm.
You asking me for my services and I have to pay you before you pay me? Think about that. That's damn near a con. You go to Sam's Club, you know, when you go to Sam's Club or Costco, you're paying them to shop with them. Like that, the way they pull that off, bro, is amazing. And I got a Sam's Club card.
Yeah.
I have to pay them to buy stuff from them.
Yes.
That's crazy. Amazon Prime, they could do same day delivery for everybody. But they take that little portion, they put it to the side. That's what you guys need to be paying attention to, successful companies that are doing shit like that. They take the prime element, they push it to the side. Not only do, if you get Amazon Prime, we're going to throw in Prime TV.
Oh.
And we're going to give you free Kindle reads. And then you can get one additional credit with Audible. Hook. Those are all hooks, bro. All hooks in your back. Shoot. I don't use Amazon Prime like that, but man, I sure love Amazon Prime TV.
Yeah.
How do notaries use that same tactic? I'll share it with you right now. When do you need this assignment done, Mr. Customer?
Today, as soon as possible.
Hook. What time works best for you and your family?
Can you come now?
Well, we have a 3 o'clock, 4, and a 4:30 available.
I'll take 3 as early as possible.
Hook. You see how the hooks are getting. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Hellraiser. One of my favorite characters on Hellraiser is Pinhead. This dude can make hooks come out of nowhere, and it just the hooks just attached to your body, and he just rip you apart.
There's a scene in The Last King of Scotland. Have you ever seen that movie? Forrest Whitaker.
Is that with Forrest Whitaker?
Yeah. Great movie. It's kind of like a biopic of Idi Amin. Great movie though. Oh my god! But there's a scene at the very end where they got the guy with the hooks, and he because he's like torturing people a little bit, a little bit of torture here and there. And they got the guy with the hooks, and it's a gruesome scene. But it's a great movie though. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all right. So same day, need you right now.
Yep. Uh,
Okay.
the let's just say they tell you, I'll call you back. When we fire off those heat-seeking missiles, if you ever take me and Tech's course, you know what a heat-seeking missile is. That's another hook.
Yeah, signing agents end up on that too. By the way, I see
That's
people
too
are just
bad for them.
they yeah, that's something you've been doing for years. And I see how people are just now kind of getting hip to that. But kudos to y'all for jumping on. But I always find like signing agent they never had the need to do that. So now it doesn't surprise me that people are starting to come up to that because, with the way that the housing market has slowed down to a halt, now they've kind of reached out and people are branching out and they're seeing all the options available. Now they're trying to see all these elements of business building and why it's so important. So that heat-seeking missiles is, whew, but
And
people are just now waking up to that now.
you know what's crazy too? Like when these platforms like a Snap Docs and stuff like that, um, the fact that their technology blast off one assignment to multiple notaries in that area. I don't like that model, like me on the receiving end, right? Because it's like whoever responds to it and agrees to that price, they're basically going with the lowest bidder.
Yeah,
I don't want to be in a business like that where I'm competing to be the lowest bidder.
no, the cheapest.
Yeah, that's basically how SnapDocs will do it, right? They're looking for, hey, we have this loan docs that need to be done today at 5 o'clock. They're paying $65 for it. The person that responds to it first is gonna be the one to get it. But SnapDocs probably charged $150, 200,
Oh,
250,
way more than that. Yeah, way more than
right?
that. Yeah. Yeah, really, that's probably right. It's probably right. I don't know for sure, but I would say it's somewhere in like in the 300, 400. California, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen 425, $400. I've seen it.
Well, I know Notarize was doing that when they were passing out. They were doing a similar model, and they would give out assignments. They would charge like 250, and then they'll pay the notary like $20.
$20.
Get a
Can you
hot
believe that?
get a hot 20.
Oh my God.
Don't
But they
be
keep me busy. They keep me busy.
right. Don't be angry for shit you accept, yo. If you accept someone to shit on you, kick you, and take your lunch money, you ain't got nobody to be angry with but yourself because you allowed that. It's time to take responsibility, man. You want to get better at this notary stuff. You know the type of money that's being shelled out here. You see it. By now, you should see it. You see people bringing in 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 a month. What your dream number is, that's on you. How much work you want to put in, that's on you. But what Tech and I are trying to show you is that there's multiple ways to skin this cat. You don't have to, if you say I want 50 appointments a month, just because you get 50 appointments a month doesn't mean that you have to run all 50.
Really?
You could be dispatching notaries and be playing Fortnite with your kids at the same time.
It's not a hard transition either because you can do both. Just dip your toes in, just slowly tasting it, just sampling it. That's what I did.
But you better learn it from somebody that actually did it, though.
That's right.
Or you got to be getting plumbing advice from an electrician. They gonna send you off.
When was the last time you bought printer paper?
Never.
It's been a
Matter of fact,
while.
matter of fact, I gotta take some back.
They ain't taking it back. Hey,
I'm
they might. They might. I don't know. They might.
taking back the printer paper because I don't use it. You know, I went into Staples not too long ago. It was probably like last year, and I found myself buying. Now they don't talk about this additional expense too. The post-its that you're putting for the loan docs and shit, the whole doc prep thing. That's a whole different amount of time that you're adding to it, right? Yo, loan docs is a motherfucker. Yo, that is Tech, you said it right. That shit is a job, yo.
Indeed.
I see people putting the videos and reels of them putting mad post-its, man, like mad post-its on the paper, man, flipping it over, and they really act like they doing some fly shit.
Just having fun.
Like they couldn't do. There's nothing better than putting posted stickers on paperwork. I worked at Kinko's. That shit is tedious and boring as hell.
Straight up.
Like they doing one of these joints. They got this joint.
Yeah. That's
Rip,
it.
smack, rip, smack, rip, smack. Notarize here, sign here. How much? How much are you getting paid for all that again? Continuous correspondence with title and escrow. That's if you even going direct. If you're going direct, you go back and forth with them. You didn't get paid a dime. You're already 30 minutes in on loan docs. Didn't even get in your car yet, bro. You're already 30 minutes on your loan doc. You're already using materials and supplies.
Yes.
You're going back and forth with correspondence, printing out paper. You're already probably damn near $20 to $30 in.
Yes.
With time and supplies and material before you even get in your damn car. Oh, that shit make me angry, bro. Numbers don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. Do a serious assessment of how much you really getting paid per assignment. This Kool-Aid shit is real.
So I did that tracker. That I did that. Yeah, I was like, this is a 3-hour commitment per signing. At best, 2 hours. I don't care how quick, how efficient you are at completing the documents, because it is a 2-hour commitment at best. For me, it was 3 hours, and I was quick. But what also stopped me ahead of the time was, and I say this in the book, I talk about this, I was adamant that I don't want another job. I was like, I can't get another job, because where I'm trying to go is, I know what that is. I know they're not paying me what I'm worth. I know it. And if it's temporary, no problem. That's okay. But I knew where I was headed. I can't take another job, because I know that the time that it took me to commit to doing this wasn't commensurate with what I was actually getting paid. It wasn't. And for somebody to say, you know, I remember when I first talked about this in the price journal. This was like PYO something like that, PYOP, like PYOS. Anyway, it was like a seminar. I was like, here's how you price. People are so confused about how to price this. Here's how you do it. Here's the formula: freedom number divided by hours of availability gives you the price divided by 30. All right. All it meant was if you're available for 5 hours a day, then you price it based upon the not the stuff that you have to do, but the time that you don't have available. But we took down the hours. The moment you get a call, 11:30 a.m., email. Let's say you accept an assignment, SnapDocs. Yes, I'll do it. Company calls you 10 minutes later. You agree to it. Give them your email address. All right, you accept it in the app. The file comes through. You download the PDF file. You upload it to the page sorter, or you download it, and then hopefully you print it all out on the right size paper. It's not legal, it's not paper size, and now you don't mess up there. Let's just say you don't mess up, so that's going to take another like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Now you're going through it. Now you're sorting, licking the tags. You're inspecting it the whole time because you done went through somebody's course and they told you to always check for the alter statement, and you're not even, and you're like, oh, I see the alter statement there, or the AKA statement was missing, so you got to call back. Let's just assume everything's good, right? But that's time. You're filling this all out. You're just tagging them if you're efficient. Oh, I can do it in 30 minutes. Yeah, but it took you 45 minutes to prep it. And you haven't even gotten in your car yet. You get into the vehicle, you travel 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Who cares where the person is? You get into your car, you travel to their house. You sit in their house, kiss the baby, shake hands with the dog. You witness a couple, wife and husband, go through about, 30 signatures. Husband notices that there's an error with the interest rate number. So I'm gonna go ahead and call. If you have a question, go ahead and call your lender, call your title office, like all this stuff. And then by the time you get into your house or you get back into your car, they complete it. You double check it, triple check it, and quadruple check it. You put it into the FedEx mailer. Bro, there's 4 hours. There's 3 hours gone by. You cannot tell me that doesn't. Every
But
signing.
you can't stop there, bro. You can't stop there, because if you have to wait, if you're basing it off on an hourly basis, and you have to wait for your check in a month, 30 days, 24 hours times 30 is an additional 720 hours.
Mm, mm.
Add that to it.
Oh wow, yeah. See, that changes everything.
because it because if you're looking at it on how long it took me to take care of this assignment, well, you bet, and you still didn't get paid yet. Technically, you didn't make no money. So let's see how long it really took you from the beginning part of that phone call to when you actually receive a check.
Oof.
You spent 720 hours, 25 hours to get one check from that company.
Oh, wait a second. We actually found an error. You missed one stamp. We're gonna have to send this back to you so that you can go back out to the client and get this signature. So I gotta get back in my car. Actually, I gotta print it and then get back in my car and go call the client and make sure that they're not at work, husband and wife. Make sure that you get them on their day off. Meanwhile, your check is being held hostage with handcuffs on.
Oh, don't forget there's possible penalties. Am I trying to discourage people from doing loan signings? Maybe. Perhaps. Because I know there's a better option.
The option you were really looking for, by the way. You got introduced to this field, not the business. You got introduced to this industry, and which one did you have in mind? That's the question I like to ask people when they come into the course, right? Come to the program. I always ask them, what did you, when you were introduced, like who told you about this? How'd you find out about this? There's always somebody who introduced you to this. Some people say they randomly came across it, which I don't tend to believe, but whatever. this is not that kind of industry that you just kind of bump into. I don't think it is. You either knew somebody or somebody told you about it, and then they introduced you to it. And you're like, oh, here's a chance to have your own business. Okay. Yeah, just put your name on a listing in a directory in a database. That's fine. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's it. And then title companies will call you, sign up for this, sign up for that. They'll call you. Go take this training, go to this conference, go to this seminar. That's it. That's it. And then you get in there, and that's not it. He was like,
Right.
they didn't tell you all that. But we're saying that there's an alternative. Absolutely, 100%. It's invisible. It's like, but it's right there in front of you. It's invisible to you until someone who knows, like you say, it's skin in the game. Somebody shows you. No, you're looking at it a little bit differently. Instead of you working for them, no, they work for you. No, they're the persons who's soliciting you.
Yeah.
It doesn't go that way. You don't work for them. I thought you had a like, does Starbucks work for you? Like, or do you work for Starbucks when you go to buy and get coffee? Or do you work for Home Depot? You need new garden supplies? No.
So Tech, we're at the top of the hour, man. Leave the audience with something, man. Make an offer, brother. You already know.
Listen, we're all in sales. This is all we're all in sales, okay? Whether you kind of go that route or not. But one thing that I think is important is that you hear the words. You got to hear how the sound of customers and how you interact with customers. So for a very short time, what I'm doing is I have a collection of 50 videos, 50 videos. These are what, in my opinion, the top objections, top conversations, and interactions with customers. So those 50 videos, you hear me talk to real customers, not pretend, not mock. These are real customers. After listening to this one time, 30 times, however you want, I think that you will be in a position where you have the confidence to take any call. I'm talking about where there's multiple signers, there's loan closings, real estate, there's power of attorneys, there's correctional facilities, there's people who need a same day, there's people who need you to go to nursing home, there's people who object to $1,000 charge, there's people who whatever you can think of. There's people who need you to go to City Hall. I need you to check with this president. I need you to go to the multiple locations. All these scenarios are wrapped up into this one package. So for the people who go to drtech.com, go to drtech.com, and there's a link where you can schedule a call, 15-minute call. Tell me that you watched the sales training. And for the people who are interested in that video or in that package, again, this is your study material. I put this on in the car. You've said this a couple of times. It's free advice. Record yourself. Listen to yourself. I should have said it this way. Oh, I could have said it that way. I could have asked him this question there. Oh, I didn't like the way I sound at that point. Listen to yourself. But the fast track or the what people who are closers and people who are highly skilled, what they'll do is go seek out that information. So go to drtech.com, drtekk.com, and then schedule that 15-minute call. It's free. Bounce some ideas off my head, bounce some ideas off of your head. And if you tell me that you are interested in the sales call training, then yeah, you'll get that at a very, listen, 50 videos where I'm taking real life calls. How would you value that? Where would you put the price on that for? Somebody, I don't know. It could be thousands of dollars. Put it that way. All I'm saying is, once you'll get a much a great rate for that collection of videos. It's my own personal library catalog. I valued it at over $5,000. So you can get 50 calls where I'm just thinking if I had a chance to listen to you take 50 calls for all different scenarios, I'd be bulletproof. There's no call I couldn't take. There's no appointment I couldn't secure. So for the person who's interested in being a sniper on the phone, I'm talking about, anybody. I was talking anybody calls you. They need a notarization, you can help them. There's no reason why anybody should get away. So drtech.com, click the link, schedule an appointment, 15-minute call, and then let's get you going. Don't wait.
Indeed. And again, you guys, I'm not even going to pump this up. Look, this is the most incredible notary workbook ever designed to help you maximize money in minimum time. I should have underlined minimum time because we just went over how you would spend 725 hours on a loan signing just to get paid. But I'm going to let Gabriel Castillo Molina speak on that.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Castillo Molina, and I'm a notary in the state of California. I'm in this business because I want to help people, but at the same time, I want to support my family. So at the beginning, I thought that the only requirement to make money in this business was to have my stamp and to know the law of my state. And that's true. I need to have my stamp and I need to know the law of my state. But also, we need, and I'm telling you, we need to learn how to market ourselves and how to sell at the same time. So I'm with Tiger Toledo. And when you rock with the best, you're going to get results. Since I started the program, I started it to make money because I learned how to market myself and also I learned how to sell. So I recommend Tiger Toledo because when you rock with the best, you're going to get the results that you want.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
I ain't got to say much off of that. What's included? You're going to get the $1 million call script. You're going to get the Control Chaos Notary Training Summit replay. That's almost like 3 hours of just hotness on how to position yourself, how to price yourself in this notary industry. The automated call script with tech, the call tracking system, over 50 directories on how to market yourself for high quality leads, texting for dollar prompts, 50 ways to effectively scale your notary business. And then we have some bonuses like live call videos. And then we also have a secret link to mega bonuses. Look, this is our early Black Friday sale. It's normally, it's like $1,900, yeah. But for Black Friday, we're doing it for $37. Control your future, write your own check. You guys can read through this and see exactly the testimonials that we've got from people, the real success stories from people from around the United States. Hey, Tech, we got to take this thing global, man. I think people in other countries can actually utilize this. So we gotta have to roll this thing out globally. So you guys can go to the link description below in this video